Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. First, I have to apologize for not doing my usual amount of videos. I definitely could not bring myself to not only film, but even color a lot of days. I don't know if you saw my last video, but my brother had a brain tumor. And unfortunately, it is the worst news we could possibly get. He has a glioblastoma, and the 5-year survival rate is 5 years. Oh, it's 5%, sorry. Although coloring does help me with my anxiety, when I'm more in the depressed phase, which doesn't happen to me very often, but under the circumstances, I couldn't do anything but cry, be angry, and anything else I could think of. I've been on an emotional roller coaster. So when I'm in that state where I'm very, very upset, I cannot do things that normally bring me joy, like coloring. What can help me when I'm feeling nervous definitely does not help me when I'm feeling extremely sad and honestly, absolutely heartbroken. So I colored a lot less pages. I have been averaging around 20, and this month I did about half. So I still have about 10 pages to show you. For the most part, I do like the way most of them have come out. I did have a few buddy colors as well, which was really nice, and that helped me get my pencils in hand so that I could, meet my commitments. So I'm going to stop rambling on. I will quickly show you my stats, which actually didn't go that well. However, some good news. YouTube, I went from 1428 to 1443. So I only had 15 new subscribers. Maybe that's because I didn't do 2 or 3 additional videos this month. I'm hoping that's the reason. This is not going up as fast as I had hoped it would, honestly. I thought I would have reached 2,000 by the end of 2025, and I doubt I'm making it to 1,500. However, if you do enjoy the video and would like to subscribe, please consider it and help me grow my channel. The good news is Instagram. I finally made the 1,000 mark. This has been a goal for several months as I was getting, inching closer and closer. So it's only 16 more, but I'm really happy with it because I did get to 1,004. I completed 12 pages. Sorry, I had to stop to count that. I thought I did 10, but I think there's 12. There might be 11, I'm not sure, but you get the idea. And I did one whip, so it brought me to 25, which is where I wanted to be by the end of 2025. So if I make 1 or 2 more, I'm actually going to be like under my goal, which I absolutely love. I started the beginning of the year with so much steam. I mean, I was rolling through them because I had 65 at the start of 2025, or 64, I think. So this is an amazing goal that I reached by the end of October and hopefully could exceed. I would like to get, by the end of 2026, I think that's going to be my new goal, is to get into the single digits. And this is harder now because I did the pages that I liked the most, and what I have left are pages that I'm not sure if I'm abandoning, pages that I really don't feel like finishing. So this is going to be more of a struggle than it was last year. I had 4 buddy colors. Dramenvanger, which is with Christina's Art Corner, and Bubble of Coloring is actually moving to November, thank goodness. I did World of Wonders with at Color Me Gem, Droom Reese with Shelley Weaver, and Dunkelbunt with my friend Claire, who's known as Crafty Claire. So that is my stats. I'm going to move over and show you some pages. The first book I have to show you is Worlds of Wonder by Joanna Basford. I do have a lot of whips in this book, and hopefully I could get one done from here. I don't really color in Joanna Basford anymore. I think this is, someone who I had first started out with. I think this was my first book, or maybe not this particular book, but Joanna Basford was the first artist that I had started adult coloring with. So I kind of grew out of it, and I've put it down for quite some time. And I'm hoping that now that I can come back, maybe it feels new again. So we'll see. Now, I think I finished this month, and I'm sorry I didn't put a date down, but yeah, I think I did it this month, and I really did kind of rush it. All I did was take watercolor and fill in some of these backgrounds, and I think I finished some other stuff too, like the gold. There is quite a bit of sparkle in this book. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it. You could see that I did use some metallic watercolors in the back, but I also used in here a lot of my metallic gel pens. I'm all right the way it came out. I don't love it, but I don't dislike it either. I don't know what I would do differently now, to be honest. So it's an okay page. I finished another WIP. I finished a WIP in Joanna Basford book, which really made me happy. And then I did this page as a buddy color with Gemma, and she is known on Instagram as @ColorMeGem. And I'm pretty happy with this page, except for what's really obvious to everyone, that I dropped my paintbrush a couple of times. Not once, but a few times. So it's all messy all over the place. So not too happy about that. I could have, maybe used paint markers or something for the back, but I didn't really feel it was necessary. So what? I dropped some paint. I'll live. I really like the way the picture itself came out. I like the orange and blue. And then I felt like it was too contrasty and there wasn't anything that was making it pop. I'm not sure I really did make it pop, but I did add some purples to kind of get a little bit more color in there. So I'm pretty happy with it. I will move mine over and show you Gemma's. And as you can see, she did an amazing job. I really, really like her yellow band. I think it really adds some brightness to it. Mine is more muted, which I'm okay with. I'm not criticizing mine. I just really love her yellow. I think that came out really good. So Gemma, thank you so much for the buddy color, and I'm glad we did it. If you want to do another one, let me know. So that's what I did in Worlds of Wonder by Joanna Basford. Up next, I have Cozy Europe by Jade Summer, and I did the Halloween page. I left this the way it is just to show you some of the problems that I had with this page. And it's obviously the backgrounds. Now, I started with a dark green, but I usually use Ohuhu, which I absolutely love as a brand, but my darker green dried out, so I went and got an alcohol marker from Blick Art Stores here in the US, and I bought that because they sell them individually, and they were a decent price. They weren't really cheap though, so I thought it would be a better quality than this. But as you can see, this marker is fairly new. It has not really dried out. So you could see all of the streakiness, and I stopped using it. I was going to bring it down a little lower, but I just stopped because it was not working. Then I got my Ohuhus out, and as you can see, here it's really good. Like I think I started down here and started working up, and you can see it's starting to dry out, and it just got patchier. And then I used a lighter color of the Ohuhu, which was obviously so dried out. I mean, it didn't even start off well. and I just threw that one out. This one I'm going to keep a little longer. Maybe I can get like maybe not larger spaces like this, but I might be able to get it to work for small spaces. This one I actually threw out. I think I mentioned several times I'm hoping to get a larger set of these, the Ohuhus that is, for Christmas. But you know, the red is starting to wear out a little bit, but I was okay with that. I didn't think it looked bad, but I really liked the way the page came out. I struggled a little with what colors to make everything because, you know, in my head, there was so much that was going to be, you know, a dark gray or a black, that I tried adding some other colors like the greens. And then I decided to make the mane inflamed to kind of bring some of the red that's over here kind of down and make it a little bit more, you know, cohesive. And I like the way it came out. I sometimes shaded with my alcohol markers and sometimes didn't. I just didn't think that this was, I don't know. I just didn't feel like going back over it once I had just made it the one color. I will go over this one. I'll have to do the whole background. I will probably use Prismacolors because they're my most opaque pencil, and they could probably color all this streakiness. I just didn't want to have to go over the whole thing with pencil, but there's no way I could leave it like this. I feel really uncomfortable even showing it. But I think that once I do the background, I'm going to be really happy with it because I like the way the rest came out. And I do like the green eeriness of the background. So it's not the color choice. It really is just how streaky the alcohol markers came out. So that is what I did from Cozy Europe by Jade Summer. Up next is Dark Fantasy by Jade Summer. And I did, nope. I did this page. And I'm really happy with the way this turned out. If I had to change anything, it would probably be this patch. Looks a little too Christmassy, but I think it doesn't matter overall because it is a patch and you use whatever, you know, material you have when you're making a patch. That kind of goes. Not really too sure about that, but I really do like the way it came out. I like the colors I chose. I had to do a little bit of shading with pencil here, and I think I used Prismacolor. But everywhere else, I shaded with the alcohol markers, so I'm really happy with that. I am getting a little bit better. I think that, you know, sometimes like in the hat, it only depends on whether I have colors that go well together, that are not that different of a color change, so that it looks like a nice blend. So if I don't have that, I do go in with some pencil. But I think this is the only pencil is on the face. I think everything else I shaded with the alcohol markers. So I'm really happy with it. Yeah, love how creepy it is. The face is amazing. I mean, this is such a good book. Oh, and this was my first, this was the first image I colored. So this also went for Color Your Hoard, October 2025. So that is from Dark Fantasy by Jade Summer. Then I decided to do a page in Enchanted Faces. This is a book that I would like to complete someday. I don't know if I blocked off my page in the front, but that's what I'm doing. I'm trying to block off and mark what I've done to see if I could get to the halfway mark. I don't think I'm there yet, but I think I'm just a few shy. And I did this page. And I like it. I'm just not too sure about my color palette. You know, technically this should have gone well, yellow and purple. I'm just not too sure whether it works really well, to be honest. This does not look fall. This looks very fall. So yeah, I don't know. I still like her. I think she came out cute. I just don't think it's as fall-ish as I was hoping to make it. But I like the way everything came out. I used my Ohuhu. Yeah, I used my Ohuhu markers on virtually everything. I did do some shading here and there with Prismacolors. And it says I used a paint pen somewhere. I'm just not sure where that is, to be honest. Yeah, guys, I do not know. I don't remember this. So there may or may not be a paint pen on here. So as far as I know, alcohol markers, Prismacolors, and then I used stickles on the wings to kind of make them look more ethereal. Yeah, I think you could see it there. You know, I was trying to find a stickles with a blue. I just don't have that. So I just used the one with the gold, and it's fine. You know, would have been nice if I had a pink or a blue one, but you know, can't have them all, can we? Okay, so that is what I did in Enchanted Faces by Hannah Lynn. Up next, I have Droom Rice by Maria Troller. And as I mentioned before, this was a buddy color. And we did this page. And I love my sky. I love the way that came out. I'm okay with how this came out. This is fine. It's these leaves. I was trying to do that technique that you see some people do where they leave their watercolor paints really sketchy, patchy, and on their work, it looks absolutely amazing. So if you want to see what it ought to have looked like, you could go back and look. Mine did not come out the way theirs looks. It's extremely patchy, and it just looks odd. What I wanted to do was try to add like what looked like texture to the page or to the leaf, you know, like kind of like it was crinkly or something. It just definitely doesn't look like that. I mean, at all. So that's what I'm not very happy with, but I'm okay. And I wanted to bring some of the blue that was down here up to the caterpillar. I don't think I love that either. It looks very cartoony against the watercolor in the browns and in the warm colors, but you know, that is not bothering me as much as how this didn't work out with this technique. So that's something I'm gonna have to keep trying, because I really do love the way it looks when I see it on other people's pages. I just haven't figured out how to do that yet. But otherwise, I think the page came out okay. You know, I like it. I don't think I like it as much as the first page I did in this book, which was this one. But as a second page, you know, it's fine. So yeah, that's it. That's what I did. Oh, sorry. As I mentioned again, this was a buddy color with Shelly from, she just goes under Shelly Weaver, I think, on Instagram. And let me move this over. And you can see Shelly's page here. And I really like her page. I think she went for the more like spring summer vibe because she has like a really bright sky. I think that came out really nice. I like the way she did that. So it's very different from mine. We kind of did summer, autumn, which is kind of cool though. So Shelly, thank you so much for the nice buddy color. And if you want to do another one in this book, let me know, because maybe you're going to like get me to keep working on this. Okay, so that is Droom Rice by Maria Troller. Up next is my last buddy color, because I'm not showing you Dramenvanger because I don't want to give a heads up to my buddies. I want them to be surprised at the end. Not that it came out that great so far, because I used too many similar colors, but we'll talk about that hopefully in November. So this is the last buddy color that I'll be showing in October. And we did The Bride of Frankenstein. And there she is. And I really like the way mine came out. I like the colors. I like the way the gauze kind of came out, or I think this is like a gauze kind of thing, but I don't really know, but whatever, this material came out. I love the way her skin came out. I think that came out really cool. And then her hair, I did a little differently, and it was a success, so I'm happy to say that. The hair, I wanted it to look kind of wavy curly, so I just did a dark gray, and that just did a bunch of random squiggles with my black. And I like it. I think it kind of looks like she has wavy curly hair. And then in the back, didn't come out that great on camera, but looks really nice in person. I used a metallic watercolor paint. Or was this paint? It might have been Spectrum Noir Sparkle. Of course, I didn't write it down. I wasn't really good with writing down this month either. And I did make her eyes 2 different colors just to show that she was pieced together from other people. And I used a lot of metallic gel pen in other spots too, like around the jewelry to make it more sparkly, shiny. You're seeing quite a bit of a metallic bloom, I think, on the paper. Unfortunately, sometimes that happens. And I did do this mostly with watercolor and pencil, the gold, rather than using gold gel pen everywhere. I just used it in some spots with like a highlight or just the gems. So I used my Holbeins on this, which worked really, really nicely on this paper, except for a little bit of a bloom. I used some alcohol marker on the dress, her lips, like the red and the black. And I think that's it. I didn't use Jelly Roll Glaze. Yeah, I think it's just the metallics. Yeah, so that is Dunkelbunt by Sarah Richter. And I will move mine over so you could see Claire's here. And hers came out so good as well. I really love the Harlequin background she did in the back. That made me wonder if I should have done a background in mine, but I just decided to leave it and not add any more complications to my life right now. But I absolutely adore the way that came out. I think it just pieced the whole thing together so nicely. Claire, another fantastic buddy color. And I hope we do another one soon. Okay, so that is what I did in Dunkelbunt by Sarah Richter. There you go. Next up, I have Creepy Kawaii. Who is this by? Oh, Elsa Jarzabek. Okay, that scared me a little when I didn't see that, thinking, did I buy an AI book? But I did not. Okay. And I did, my first page in this book was this adorable little vampire kitty. And I really like the way this one came out. I like that I used gray in the background instead of just like a regular black. I do like my pink and purple kitty and my purple bat. Those are my favorite parts. I do think that my stone came out pretty well. And I liked that I'm starting to get a little bit more confident by making kind of like shadow marks with my alcohol markers. So on this page, all I used were the alcohol markers and some polychromos. Again, when I don't have a color in my alcohol set, marker set, that closely matches what I have used already, I have to use pencil, because if not, it's too jarring when it's such a big color change. So I did shade the cat and the stone. Everything else, I think, even my leaves, I think, are just alcohol marker, and the tree. So I just think I did this piece with the polychromos pencils. Yeah, so I'm happy with the way she came out. I really think she's cute. And this was the first page I did in this book, so it also went for Color Your Hoard, October 2025. Sorry, forgot the month for a second. So that is Creepy Kawaii by Ella, I think it was Jarzabek. Yep. And the last page I have to show is from Mouse Guard by David Peterson. And I did this page. My son is born in October, so I decided to do this just because he's like the best thing that's ever happened to me. And if I can celebrate him, I celebrate him in any way I can. And I thought this was a really cute way to celebrate the birth I gave 26 years ago now. So this is for my guy, and I really like the way this one came out. And I used only Albert Dürer pencils. I did not use anything else. There is no sparkle, there is no anything. It is all my Albert Dürer pencils. And I really like the way they came out. So that is what I did in Mouse Guard by David Peterson. So that is it, guys, for October 2025. I will be doing my plans video for November soon, probably tomorrow, so I could kind of edit them at the same time and just do 2 weeks in a row. I do have to start planning a little bit better if I'm going to try to do my 4 or 5 videos a month, because my brother starts chemo and radiation in a couple of weeks, and I need to help get him there because he's not allowed to drive any longer. Oh, hopefully I will get a bunch of books. I will not pick 20 or 25 like I have been the last few months, but I'll try to pick, about a dozen and hope that I get about 10 pages done, which is what I really think I did this month, because a couple of books I brought up, I did not color. So I think I only did about 10, not the 12 that I thought in the beginning of this video. So thank you so much, everyone who's watching. Thank you so much to everyone, and I should have said this in the beginning, who sent me their prayers, their well wishes, their messages out into the universe, or any way. I really appreciated the thoughts that came to me in the comments. So thank you so much for that, guys. It was really so much appreciated. I think I responded to everyone the best I could. Sometimes it was just a simple thank you because the day was so bad. But hopefully, November will be a better month. I hope he tolerates the treatments well. So that's what I'm hoping for in November. So enough depressing crap. So let's move on. I hope everyone has a wonderful November, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks again. Bye, guys.